This would have been June in '77, because the West Virginia Folk Festival is always the third weekend of June, but every year it still goes on. And I was invited, probably by Armin, and probably Mark Gunther went. I don't remember exactly how I got there. I probably rode with somebody. I didn't have a car. Didn't need a car in Chicago. And at the time of going to the festival, I would have just have turned 23. And so they took me down to the West Virginia Folk Festival. I could talk for a long time about this, but I want to say that it was the square dancing that just absolutely blew my mind. They had a live band, which was an old-time band, but I would say it was kind of more bluegrass instrumentation, and it was all acoustic instruments though, but it was amplified through a sound system, and the caller was amplified through a sound system also. I was really into fiddle, and I was there like a lot of other young people, fiddlers, and old, were there because of the fiddle music. It was outstanding. It was traditional and just really amazing. There were old geezers that were really good fiddlers to learn from. I just saw all of American history. These guys like old Willie Reed and Tom Luzader. Oh, and the third one I didn't mention was Mac Samples. And Mac was involved. He was a professor at the college there in Glenville. And so he was also really into it, and he learned to call all the dances, and I think he's probably carrying it on right now. The festival, the festival, they would actually rehearse. They would get people together and, twist people's arms and get the old people that were going to be the main set, the center set in the festival, so they could pull this thing off. And then a lot of people, it was simple enough that people could catch it. That's what they call it. You're not taught it. You caught it instead of having lessons. But they did rehearse, I found out, to make sure that they could have enough of organization and remember what the old dances were for the festival. So this was the thing that was only revived there were other places in West Virginia that did have surviving dances, but Glenville wasn't one of them. And so they only did this as a show, but it was very participatory. And oh my gosh, they built a platform curb to curb at the main intersection, and it reverberated. So you've got that, and then the reverberation from the wood is coming in probably into the feeding through the PA system. So you've really got the percussive thing, and they really came down hard all the time. Not clogging exactly, but just really, how you beat the floor. And so the music was intense, the calling was incredible, although not always synchronized. And I found out that they didn't synchronize with the music because they were synchronized with the dancers. And it was like Americana, just being lived out right there before my eyes. And I could only imagine how old this stuff was. How old are these fiddle tunes? How old are these calls? How old are these phrases that they're using? Maybe I'm exaggerating here, but most of the others, so many of them would see that square dancing going on the wooden floor in Main Street. They would hear the electrified band, and they might stay there for a minute or two as they're walking from one jam to another jam. and it wouldn't register with them that there was anything special going on. But me, it was life-changing. It drove a deep spike into my heart of that just tied so many ends together, you know, history and music and the dance and the calling just all came together and they were real people, you know, they were real. And it just inspired me. I just can't, it was life changing. I just can't say, the way they say it there in Glenville is, you know, it blew my mind off. And so that was really just, I can't explain it. How, I mean, it inspired me to push, not knowing I didn't know hardly anybody back in Chicago. I didn't have connections, but somehow I was able to work that combination and dial it up to against all the naysayers. You know, all the people say, no, I won't come. I won't help. I don't want to do that. You know, well, maybe I'll come, but I won't dance. I'm too busy. It can't happen here. Oh, that's, you know, yeah, they do that other places, but you know, it can never happen here. We never done that here. So against all because I could have just given up. I was busy enough. I was trying to learn to make violins. I wanted to go in the violin business. I wasn't trying to get into the dance business, but against all odds, we were able to have enough. I had enough camaraderie that they were able to push me, you know, and I kept going, and we got it off the ground.